Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here and for showing up as well for me, because I'm showing up for you. And thank you so much for somebody donated like some really nice amount of the money for me. I'm like, oh, I really appreciate that. It's gonna keep me going. I didn't even notice it just today. And so thank you so much for those of you who support this channel and just me digging deep into all the planets and energies and astrology, and I have so many tools that I use so many things. So let's check out on the energies that are going on. We are shifting like crazy. There is some like super rare planetary stuff right now happening, and I know we are processing a lot what happened during the pandemic since the November 2019, where we all had to sit with our own shit, you know, being in our own space and like facing all the shadows. Or some of you had some realities, new relationship, a new drama, new trauma, a new kind of like a mess going on. So that's there for a reason. We all have this to see all the old energies that we are not gonna be using and we're not gonna be moving with forward, because there are multiple timelines that we are like we sort of are operating on right now. That's why it's so difficult or so challenging for every single person, because there is a lot of depression, there is a lot of anxiety, there is all the emotions are coming to the surface. It's being really tough, like, you know. On top of that, the body is changing on the cellular level, like, because it's releasing everything it stores through the past, because it's stored in the cells, and making a room for a new, you know, for the new timelines, for the higher frequencies. And that's why the evolution is so difficult, and you cannot really like say what's gonna happen or how is it gonna be. That's why it's so unpredictable, because practically this never happened on planet Earth. And speaking of the evolution, what the evolution is, practically there is no way that the human body can evolve unless there is some planetary shift. Something has to happen in the space that actually the planet starts changing and raising her vibration. So in that time the human body starts changing, and in that time the human starts evolving. So it's no longer optional. And I have this amazing friend like from the past that show up for me like a couple of days, and we were talking about like this kind of stuff. So I had to remind her about these new energies, because that's actually information we all need to be giving to the people, that it's no longer optional not to deal with our own shit, or not to really looking on our shadow, it's no longer optional to eating the toxic food, you know. It's no longer optional, because the vibration of the earth is not supporting this type of old energy. This is what is actually happening in the whole world. That's what COVID started. I remember my very first visions when I was activated, like when all my gifts start to be activated, or gifts, like, you know, we are all having chakras, and we all have third eye, you know. So we all have this. It's just like I am having it developed, and I am having it more fine-tuned, like, let's say. So I can see on my journey, like, how I started to seeing the first visions was exactly before the COVID. And practically I knew that the earth is gonna go for a big shift. I knew that this is it. This is what all the talks in the spiritual community, like, and in the past, all the yogis and all the shift, this is it. We're going through it, and we are in the midst of it. And no one knows how it's gonna go. We don't really know. Like, you know, there are bits and pieces of the informations that I am picking up, or I am downloading or receiving. Sometimes I hear another people talking about this is this, you know, you don't have to just download the information through the channel. You usually are guided as well, like listen other people, because you might have those gifts as well, and you need to look like remember them. let's say for me, astrology sounds so familiar. And one of my friend, which is she's got extremely like a high awareness of the body. She's phenomenal. So if you need like a body scan, she could scan your body and tell you, oh, you've got here the cyst, or you've got here some tumor, or you need these and that. It's great, like, you know. So when she told me, like, I had to like a little bit looking more on the planets and a little bit more diving deep into it, and then what came to my mind was my old visions which I used to have in the meditation about I don't know if I was like astrologer or if I was like cosmologer or something like that, or if I have no clue, like in the past. And like there is a lot of things that happen in this time during the COVID period. We definitely, when I was saying in the latest video, I finally understand it. I finally got it today. Like I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. That's what we were actually looking at, is like a multiple like timelines what we used to operate on, which some of them are bringing up the gifts which are natural for us. We are like naturally gifted in certain things, and we could help each other like navigate all these crazy times. And something was like the past, which was obviously something which is not gonna go with you to the new timeline. So it was like this, like a power struggle between the old and the new, and you were just like, oh my god, I don't want this, it's too much, you know, I'm empath and I feel everything. And it took me years to understand myself, honestly. It took me years to clean up the shit I accumulated, because I didn't know that I'm a sponge, that I practically suck the darkness and the bad energy inside of my body. And of course, because nobody told me and taught me any tools, any like practices or any like, you know, transmuting energy things. So all I was doing for 40 years was sucking up the shit like inside of me and having tons of like physical problems. It took me 5 years to being really smashed like lying down on the face, because I was filtering the things. So I created a little like a webinar as well for those of you who are empaths and are like filtering, are the air conditioners, are filtering the shit of the collective. Because that's what you do. You need to learn what to do with it. Of course, it's gonna be really difficult to first like clean up the vessel, that you can be a little bit more in ease, you know. So I created like I'm writing it for a couple of days. I'm downloading it and just writing it. So once it's ready, it's ready. Web is almost done. It's brilliant. So thank you to the person who donated, because that's what I'm gonna use to actually power the web. And I bought the domain and I just paid off. I'm just putting things together for you. So we've got more tools because we all need tools. And I was like, oh my God, we need tools. We need new tools. So I started really writing down the things and putting it all together. So we've got it. The energies are crazy. So whatever you're going through right now is gonna a lot affecting your cellular system. You know, the cells are gonna be, of course, the cells are puking out the density for many years, you know, especially with the COVID. So a lot of us are gonna be reflecting back on what we went through during this period. And I said that already in the previous video. You know, like I am in this reflecting mode, and I finally starting to understand things. I started to understand my journey. I started to understand why it was so difficult. I started to understand the purpose as well, and how to deal with it, and how to do the energies, and everything starts just kind of clicking in. So you might be experiencing this, like a lot of shifts, or you might be just like having a lot of epiphanies and aha moments about relationships. Relationships are involved in it enormously, I have to say. And distractions and addictions. Addictions are extremely loud now. Kids are addicted to the phones and to the gaming. People are addicted in general, like to the food, because it's like designed that way. Like, you know, it's a product, and most of the time it's not really a food. Alcohol is loud like crazy, because during the war as well, what is the energy is such that practically the numbing down and like the comforting food, like, and survival food like bread, like, you know, will be really like, you will be craving more these kind of things. So take it easy on yourself, but just be aware that it's there. Don't punish yourself up. Like, you know, we all need time, processes. Let's say I am the type of a person who moves quite slowly. You know, I'm gathering a lot of data, and then I am making some like sort of like adjustments usually, but like for my personal life, like not just like now when I'm downloading things and or you know, unpacking stuff. Sometimes I go like too early, but usually I don't have the tendencies to go early. I usually go really slow because I need to process things, gather more data, just like, you know, looking on everything. That's the analytical mind, you know, that's kind of like me. But like everyone is gonna be different, everyone is gonna be scaling up. Try to be more compassionate as well with the others, because like you could see that there is a lot of depression, a lot of cancer, a lot of heart attacks. You know, you name it, people are gonna be dying. Like we have to get used to it, because obviously the new frequency requires certain changes. That's why I am constantly talking about this, because it's no longer optional. Everybody is sick around me, and we have to little bit like understand the bigger picture as well about this is evolution, and unfortunately we don't have any other option. So it's gonna be extremely challenging for everyone. The other thing is that what we are discovering with the gifts and understanding why we have them is exactly for that reason, because we no longer are gonna be using the same tools and same systems and the old things we know. That's not gonna go with us. So first it has to come to the surface that you can see it, and you have to be aware of it. That's how you shift out of it, slowly, surely, bit by bit, you know. I'm just checking what else I've got. Oh yeah, soul contracts are finishing. We had some important soul contracts with each other. Most likely we have a soul contract together, I don't know, maybe. And people from the past might come to you, and you might either don't reject it. You know, don't reject your structure. It's your structure. Don't reject it. You approach it with the open heart and try to understand why that person or that situation is in your life, because it's there showing you something. I had this beautiful friend from the past. We were many times put together and apart, and put together and apart, and we share something like the intensity and the extremes, and because we were partying a lot together and drinking a lot together and smoking weed together and taking drugs and you name it. So we share the same intensity, and this as well, you need to understand practically with every person that comes to your life. You start to understand yourself more, and as well what you went through. And then there is a period when you're gonna be integrating all these like experiences and really starting to seeing your value. And I was telling my friend, I was like, this is the first time in my life I finally see and understand my value. Because I was, as a child, like, you know, my design is such, you know, that the journey was like that. It was on a purpose. On one side as well, if you were suppressed as a child, that has a reason as well, that it was, first of all, you chose that experience, and second, it's on some level it was protecting you from like the being recognized, let's say, as a starseed, as a higher soul, so that the dark agenda could not find you. But I'm not sure about that much, you know. Everybody has it very differently. You always have guides, and you are always somehow protected. So especially starseeds, you know, they were placed very strategically on the planet, that they can sort of infiltrate the system and break it from inside out. That's because there is the rule or the law of non-interference with the evolution on the planet. But because now the humans are screaming so much for the help, and they want any type of help. And when they start asking for help, we get more help from the higher realms, we get more help from the extraterrestrials. So whatever you think is happening on the planet which looks really bad, you don't really know how infiltrated it is by the extraterrestrials, that they are actually helping us through, I don't know, you can say there is a chemtrail, right? But you don't really know, they could like tweak it up and just like they are like renewing the energies. Like you don't really know, unless you are not able to really read the energy, you would not know. And I know that this is their garden. So you as a gardener would never destroy your garden. So there is always a support on our, they got our back all the time, especially now. So soul contracts are ending or changing. I'm sure we're gonna have a different contracts, because the timelines, you can imagine that you are constantly flickering between like an old this and a new one. You start being aware of the new one, and then you are going back to the normal, and then you are start to being aware of the old one. So you're constantly like fluctuating between the timelines, and until you are clean enough and you start holding a little bit higher vibration. So you're gonna be more fluctuating between like this kind of a timeline, and this one start to be deactivated until you just land on the completely new timeline. And that's unfortunately, this is energetic, so that's happened in the body as well, So you could be fluctuate. We are all fluctuating. Nobody is in the 5D. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not true. It's that's how being in that frequency requires enormous amount of work to have to be done on the body. Okay, because the cells are remembering the past. So forget like, oh, we are in the 5D. I'm in the 3D. Am I in the 5D? No, forget that. You constantly fluctuate. The thing is about how aware you are. Your awareness and your consciousness is what matters. That's what counts. So higher your consciousness, of course, it needs a little bit more space in the vessel. So you have to make space for it, and that's why we need a diet. Unfortunately, and we have to be a little bit more aware as well of the fluctuation, and we have to learn how to work with it. That's what we were actually doing. We were learning what to do with these energies past couple of years. I mean, since the COVID started, since 2019. I remember my first visions were about that the earth was dipped in this like a black, sticky, liquid or whatever. I thought first, oh my God, we're gonna run out of petrol maybe, or something is gonna happen. I was watching from the spaceship. I had this vision that I'm standing in the spaceship and looking on the earth, and then I saw this the earth being dipped in this black yuckiness. And then I saw the crafts dropping or picking up, I don't remember, these like little balls of lights. And I never understood it until later when I find out I'm a starseed. Like for me, the journey was a little bit interesting because I became visionary. So I started having like all these like a strange rememberings, That's when I think for us it's really difficult to comprehend how the universe operates and how the timelines are running simultaneously, and that you are practically as well coexisting in a different dimensions, and and then how you're remembering the past. And so we start remembering, but we forgot as well how we came here, what we came here to do. And now that this period when we were on the lockdown was a great for all this cleaning and reflection. And I think some of us are finally getting a little bit stable and start understanding and are ready to scale up some, and we will need to assist those who need assistance. That's why, and then there's gonna be another level. It's never ending, the evolution is gonna be like that. We're not gonna be any longer thinking about, enlightenment. No, that was in the past, in the old frequency, that was different. The new frequency has a completely different kind of a rules. We no longer talk about enlightenment. They call it ascension, but I don't like that name necessarily. I prefer evolution because it has a little bit more sense to me. because it's like a never-ending process. It never ends. So what enlightenment? You know, we need to be more authentic. We need to be more like in our blueprint. We need, and of course there is evolution, a different type of evolution happening, because evolution with the consciousness, it's I would say it's I don't know. I'm not sure how is it gonna go like further up. You know, so those energies now are really interesting. Take a time as well to, you know, release and have a salty baths, dip yourself in the sea, spend more time in nature. It will balance your energy field, but constantly keep like observing, because that's where the juice is, triggers, all the people that are coming to your life, and try to always approach it with like the thing that it is there for a reason. And if there is something what you are being pushed to do and you don't want to, then you would have to a little bit study quantum physics, that you actually understand how you create your own reality. But when there is something what you don't like want in your reality, you can just say, oh, thanks to showing me, but thank you very much, but I don't want that, and I am gonna create something else. Because I could see like here, like how I freaked out about a house crisis, because there's a massive house crisis in Ireland. But I had to constantly reminding myself that I create my own reality and I am in the quantum field. So I have to ask the structure to help me. You can ask the structure, it's alive. It's a live environment. So you can ask the structure to help you, but you have to be aware how you are being guided, and where you are being helped, and where are actually your resources, and where you're not using your resources, let's say, or when you are missing the opportunities, you know. So you as well have a look on your limiting beliefs, because now we were definitely like dealing a lot with we were more seeing the deeper layers of our like limiting beliefs, and also we were going through a massive reprogramming. I was reprogramming my mind for, I think, 3.5 years, every single day, in the morning and in the evening, for 3.5 years on luck. You know, like, because I'm coming from there. You know, I'm coming from Czech Republic, and Czech Republic we were poor. There was a communism, there's an oppression. And what was the download I actually last time before I got COVID, I completely forgot on it. What was showing up for us was a cultural imprints. That's what was it. It was we were starting to noticing the cultural imprints, and that's like, let's say Czech Republic is one of the first in Europe in drinking and smoking. So if you coming from there, you be more prone to like having these habitual patterns. But if you drop it, you might start seeing that it doesn't work. You know, you might start seeing that you have a bottle of wine or glass of wine and it doesn't do anything to you. And that in that moment, you know that something like got changed as well in the body. And if you drop it, you will not have any abstinence, how you say it, any withdrawal effects. You will not have any cravings. It happened to me with the cigarette. It was phenomenal. I was like, oh my God, I'm not having any cravings. How did it happen? And I was picking this up constantly, and they say, because it's no longer there. And because I was like, oh my God, I have to clean it, And I was asking my guides, I was like, so okay, how I clean it? And they said that you don't. And I said, wow. I was like, how is it possible? And they say, you got upgraded. And I did not understand it until today, when I was listening some astrology, and she was speaking, she just mentioned like a couple of like one sentence, and I was like, that's why I got it. I suddenly started to having like extra download. Sometimes I need just like a little hint from someone, and then I get more information that comes through me, which is brilliant. And I got it. So we practically lot of the as well the heavy shit what was showing up for us. You know, if you were like having really difficult time with the addictions, that might have a look on the cultural stuff. That's because that's something what is practically programmed in your cells. you know. The same anger, you know. Fear is phenomenal. I deconstructed a little bit fear, you know, how to work with it. You don't work with it, you walk with it. You walk with it like as this was a little child. You are holding the hand and you're saying, it's okay to be afraid, don't worry, we're gonna do it even if we are afraid. It's great if you think about the fear that you don't need to get rid of it, you don't need to deconstruct it, you know, you just approach it as a little child and you always walk with it. Because you're gonna be always afraid, because I notice that it's programmed in our cells. Programmed in our cells. It's in our DNA. Fear is in the DNA. You know, it has certain that's as well to keeping us safe. You know, so you cannot really get rid of fear. You just have to understand it, and the approach that you are holding you are carrying the little child who has a fear. It's okay, and you could just go into it, into the storm. You know, it's good. It's a good approach. That helped me a lot to deal with the certain types of fears. You know, I was telling me, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay. It's just talk to yourself as well as a little kid, because I'd say I was a little bit checking my natal chart, and it was really funny because I have there that my innocence was completely beaten up to the flat, that I just couldn't handle the world, you know, because I was feeling everything and I didn't know, and everybody was I was just shaked up. I was rattled practically. And I always had this feeling, and I didn't understand. I always thought that I'm dysfunctional. But then when I was a little bit digging into my natal chart, I found out there that there is this a line about innocence, or maybe it's in my human design, I don't remember. I am like a wounded child, and then I was like, yeah, I'm like this a little child dressed in the adult clothes. It just makes me laugh, because that's how I feel practically. Oftentimes, you know, I couldn't understand how I am not able to I can't even imagine being this kind of a big public figure, you know, a strong woman, a walking and doing on. I don't know. I just can't. It's just not me. I'm just like this little kid, you know, being in adult clothes, because I mean, for me, the play and the creativity is very important, because I think that is one of the most important thing actually. And so I like to be like this, you know, just a playing. And I think that's where really as well the authenticity comes, you know, because if you have a look on the kids, they are so natural and so amazing in this. And I think I learned this with my daughter, you know, so now I understand as well the lot of these teachings which I actually got from her, which is really cool, because even though I could get mad sometimes on her, she pressed my buttons sometimes, but the most of the time I'm it's a chip chip chip, yeah, these two little birds, you know, so yeah, it's good. Okay, so that soul contracts are ending as well, so a lot of things are gonna be changing with the people. You might be really being put apart, because some people are just not going with you on the same timeline. I start seeing it at home in the values. Even though we made agreements and we are fine and things, it's just start to be more and more uncomfortable around the values. And I start realizing that I'm not sure if we can even make this work. Even on these agreements we have, you know, if we can really make it somehow work. So I'm trying to, you know, we are pioneering, most of Starseeds and most of you as a light workers, empaths, intuitive, spiritual guides, all of you, we are all pioneering in here. So we are the front line, so we go first. So it's no fun. We are practically all pioneering, because in these new energies, I don't think we were even taught how to do it. So we really have to have some guidance, and we really need to have assistance from the higher realms, because we need those informations to be able to deal with all these new energies what are coming to. And we are being a lot supported. There is new downloads. So You might be even feeling different, having new activations, discovering new gifts. There is gonna be a lot of changes, and I'm experiencing it every single day. And my third eye is constantly pulsing, and I'm having all sort of issues in the chakras, but not anymore as much as a releasing, but more like a balancing the crown with the heart chakra. And the throat is getting, of course, the throat chakra got activated. Most of the time you might be feeling it as well on the back, because the chakras are not just here, but you might be feeling it they are on as well on the back. So you might be feeling certain chakras doing certain things, maybe, hard to say. But the tingling on the crown, obviously, a lot of frequency is coming in to the ground, and us who are the shit filters, who are the sponges, that we're gonna feel it all, because I feel it all. If you are the empath, then if you are feeling it, I give you a tool that is phenomenal. I don't know, it's called Tonglen or something like that, and Tonglin or Tonglen. It's like you are breathing in the suffering, you're transmuting it in your heart, and you are breathing out the compassion and love, It's not that I just send him a love. No, that's not how it works, all right? That's not how it works. You have to suck it in. And it's not for everyone, it's really challenging. So if you're feeling anxiety, or if you're feeling really uncomfortable, whatever you're picking up, you first need to understand if it's yours, or if you are picking up from the collective. That's why I'm doing these updates as well, that we know what's going on in the collective. There's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of addictions, so that okay, this is showing up, okay, fine, so that you are prepared a little bit. So what you can do, if you have anxiety, you have to just release it through you, Of course, if it's yours, then you have to dig deep and do a deep shadow work. If you want to, I can check your natal chart and have a look on your Lilith, or you can do it yourself, You go to Astro Cafe, get your own natal chart there for free, and have a look on Lilith. It's like a black moon, and that planet or that moon, there is your shadow. You can study just that bit. Lilith in, I don't know, 5th house, I'd say. There is a lot of extremes and a lot of destructivity. Let's say in Lilith in 5th has massive challenges. I got a friend, she's got that. So there is a lot of things you can actually have a look on, because you can find the anxiety there. Maybe it coming through certain planetary stuff what you came here through the childhood, and there might be something what you still didn't see, because we are now looking on the deeper layer of our past. We are integrating it. We are looking on the new gifts and our real value, not the society value, We are looking on a real stuff. So it's really good. It's really interesting. We are shifting like crazy. It's not easy. So this way you can, the transmuting the energy. You practically, if you feel the energy a lot in the body, like me, it knocked me down a couple of days. Sometimes if I have somebody who has a big shadow, unfortunately I suck it in, and then I have to process it, I have to release it somehow. But that's my natural kind of a design, and that's how I do the reading. That's how I read the energy, unfortunately. And but I needed to learn how to work with it. So if it's really heavy, you have to lie down, okay? Shower, important. You just shower all of it out, but you have to as well breathe it out. Just imagine that with the shower, you have to set intentions, of course, that with the shower, everything is going away from you. Or you lie down, you need guides for some heavy shit. That's why I have so many guides. For some really heavy stuff, you just lie down, open your crown. You can state in your mind, and then you open your root chakra, you breathe all of it out, down through the feet, Or you can imagine that there is a cord going, you are plugged into the earth and you are breathing it all out, and breathing the new, breathing the old out, breathing the new in, but you still need a source energy on top of that, because the earth grid is scrambled. The energy on the planet is really scrambled, so it's not pure anymore. And we need the original codant from the source as well. So what you do afterwards, you open it, you just state in your mind, you open your crown chakra and you just state, okay, now I am downloading the source energy to flood all my system. Yogis are doing this. They call it yoga for health, you know. But they do first heavy breath work to like open up the cells and clean the pathways so you can feel it. Another great thing is just be conscious like how the energy is being stuck in your body where you have this, but you always connect with the breath. You just breathe it out, you know, breathe it all down through the feet. You can stand with the bare foot outside and do the same, but you still need to download the source energy. We need that type of energy now as well. We need extra support. Just to, like, you know, you can do exactly the same thing standing and just like being quiet or sitting down, you know, being quiet. This is my practice. I use it on so many things. You know, if you have some really nasty shit, like, you can contact me and I'm gonna help you to deconstruct it. You know, I'm gonna dig deep with you. I'm gonna probably, you know, pick it up and help you to navigate and transmute it. So yeah, that's all that. Cell level, soul contracts are finishing, timelines is shifting, cultural imprints. Yeah, I covered it all up. I wrote it down this time. I needed to, because last time I forgot. Yeah, the ancient wisdom and gifts are coming more online. You are more aware of it, and you are more like sharpening them up, so you can finally just are ready for next level. Because this was like a really deep reprogramming, you know, of the cells. It was really heavy. I have to say that I was telling my friend today that I finally understand why I was so knocked down for so many years, how long it took me actually to get stable with the energies, in my own energies, and now how I am finally seeing that like my human really needs different type of lifestyle and different type of like foundation, and that I need to be really energetically like clean. I have a really low tolerance on the noise, and more stuff what is happening like in the town is moving, and more the energies are a little bit like shaked up. It really like starts bothering me, because I'm more in tune with all of the things, you know. So I really need to change the location, I guess. There is a meat factory here, so I guess I'm picking up a lot from there. I need to really learn how to work with it, and probably a lot of you are gonna have the same problem. So if you do, comment down below if you do, and I'm making that some webinar about it, so I'm gonna really dive deep into it. I don't know how long is that gonna be. That's gonna be probably like a long one. I have no clue. I see what comes through, and I hope you are well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me, and follow me on Instagram, because I'm still doing more there, and I'm showing up weekly here. I will try to show up twice a week, because it seems to me that now it's like really like, ooh, it's the culmination of the energies is really fast. Like, you know, we are shifting so fast. Just like, I have to say, since I had COVID, I had a massive shift in the consciousness though, because practically the reprogramming is happening for the reason that more of your consciousness can exist in the body. So you're gonna be more aware, and you're gonna be needing different tools. So if you struggle with something and you want to publicly like share it, write it down below. I'm gonna check it out. If you want me to speak about something, write it down below. I'm gonna check it out. If you have questions, the same thing. Contact me anywhere, and I can touch on the topic, and give you some guidance or some tools or whatever. Okay, I love you so much. Be good. I'm wishing you happy full moon because I think it's today. And don't forget to clean your crystals and, you know, have some salty bath. And I see you next time. Bye.